Hey guys, welcome to tonight's stream of the Thursday night precision race team handicap race. It's an event that happens every Thursday night. It's organised by Wiltshire Precision Race Team. It's a fantastic event. It's one that I usually race myself, but unfortunately I've been caught out with that little COVID bug that's going around, so I'm having to take it a little bit easier on my race effort. So tonight I'll just be sitting in the director's chair and viewing the race as a spectator. And I'm hoping to bring some interest to it and keep it interesting for all you guys out there as well. The race is a handicap race, as I say. It's limited to 3.2 watts per kilogram. So ideally what that means is that your power ratio is maxed out at 3.2 watts per kilogram. The idea behind this is that it will give everyone the same sort of max advantage. You'll be kept to the same power. And you'll have to use the terrain that you're around, the hills, you'll have to use the curves in order to give yourselves the potential to attack and to break the field open and to go forward and win the race. This generally means for most people that they're going to be finishing within about 5 minutes of the leaders, unlike a lot of the races that happen on RGT where you've got the real extremely fit guys who break away and leave you for dead. You will hopefully be finishing a lot closer to those people behind. And they're really generally really interesting races. The way to work out your weight for these races, which is the handicap that you have, is to take a recent FTP test that you've done, divide your FTP by 3.2, and that'll give you weight in kilograms to put into RGT. So you can weight dope in this race. You can increase or lower your weight in order to give you that sort of handicapping to keep you up there with the fast guys at the front. I mean, obviously the fast guys, they are handicapped the other way, they get weight added to them, so it really reduces the speed that they can go up these hills at. There's another interesting factor to these races as well, that some of the guys are racing at their normal weight all the time. They come into the handicap race, they change the weight, and they don't always change the tactics that they use, so they can be expected to go up these hills at a fair rate of knots. When they're not going up at those speeds, they can put more and more effort in, and they can wipe themselves out on a hill earlier than they normally would have done, because they're just not used to racing with a different weight. But yeah, Wiltshire puts these races on every week, every Thursday night, 7 o'clock UK time. They're available through the app on RGT. You can access them straight away through the app. You don't have to mess about looking around for links. They're always there as a promoted ride, and they're really good. We'll have a quick look at the course this evening. We're going to race on Pienza, which is one of the real roads in RGT. So we start off from the start line. We're already on the hill. We're hitting a 4% gradient going up. So we're going to be slowed straight off the start line. It's going to be important to select the right gear to get yourself off and away. You're going over the start and down into a big descent onto the Strada Bianchi. This route is part of a section of a whole course that was used for the Eroica rides, which were a set of rides based around the Strada Bianchi that were set really to discourage the Tuscan government from paving over all these Strada Bianchi roads. They wanted to make them into tarmac roads. So a few guys went out and created some events and races with vintage bicycles to go around on these courses and keep them open and keep the interest in the Strada Bianchi, because they felt that it was a big part of the Tuscan heritage to have all these white roads around the place. And they don't affect your speed on RGT. Unlike, say, the Dirty Riva course, where going onto the gravel does affect your speed, the Strada Bianchi and Pienza is just there for aesthetics, so it doesn't affect your speed. We are underway. I'm talking too much and I missed the start of the race there. See them flying off there. I'm just going to get a better look at who's on the lead there. Pushing 380 watts there, coming off the start line. And we're with Tartaruga there in the cockpit. He's back a few positions back. We'll check out Barry Wilson. Barry's a regular in these races. go forward to see who's at the front of the race. Guy Hepner at the front of the race there. Ollie Perkins, who is actually Barry Wilson's grandson, who we just mentioned. We've got Ben Lowe at the front end there, PRT racing team. Ian Murray Muzzer. You see that we've already gone down the first Strada Bianchi descent. Back up, there's a little climb here, and then there is the Pienza kicker that we're coming up on shortly. Ben Lowe in second place, running through into the first there. And our Marty's, we've got Guy Hepner coming up there onto the front. Guy Hepner's a very strong rider. He's always at the front of these races. Just going down on a little bit of a descent now. Before we come up to this Pienza kicker, which is a real kicker. You go around the corner and straight into a 10-12% climb. Go beyond the symbol there. This is the start of the segment climb. So the guy's opening up a little bit of a gap in here on the people behind him. As soon as we hit this climb, start closing up. 10% there. See Guy there. I think Guy's carrying quite a lot of weight into this race. He's just getting dropped slightly on this climb. Ben Lowe goes forward into the lead there. Oh, sorry, Ben Lowe's second place. Can't quite make out who the first place rider is there. Got a little bit of a gap open up there to the next riders. Will Deegan there. Always a strong rider. Again, he's normally one of the ones up at the front challenging for the win. Just dropping down onto the descent. Quite a few hairpins on this descent. Just nipping back to the group behind there. See Andy Folks there. Team Lou Racing. Leon. And we've got Lazar there as well. You can see the fantastic Pienza scenery out there. A lot of work being put into this course to make it look just as good as the real world. Well, I'm not sure that the computer rendition can quite compare to the quality of the Tuscan countryside. Further back down in the group, see Rob Marshall there. Arturuga was on the front when we were leaving the start line. There's a recently married Rhea Usher, still getting used to her name. Disalt Priest back in the group there. See Rhea there, just dropping back with a teammate. Ingram, Chris Shackleton there. Barry's in with this group with Rhea. Kent, Vincenti's, Alves. And a little bit further back down there, we can see Ollie Perkins and Vasalotti. Ollie Perkins, only 14 years of age, fantastic rider. He often rides in these PRT races. He wants to ride with his granddad over the virtual. Greener and Hurst there, just dropping Johnston. Going a little bit further back. Tom Smith a little bit further back again. We'll go back over to the front of the race. See Ben Lowe now. He's opened up a gap of some 60 metres over Oxazoglu. Ben's coming back into another descent now. See there, he's got clear road behind him. See Chris Bancross and David Brookhurst, who's back in this race again. They've had a little break over the summertime. Phenomenally strong riders. Go back into the racing now, see what the race is like for the second and third placings. Oxazoglu and Zimecki there, just battling it out. Coming on back onto the tarmac. And we're heading up to the Pienza wall climb now. This is a long climb. It takes nearly as long to climb this wall climb as it does to do the rest of the course. Chris Bancross there in fourth. We've got 94 metres there to make up on second and third person's grouping. Seeing the form of Chris Bancross last year, I think he could easily make that. As you see, his power bar goes in red, and he starts putting the effort in to try and cover that gap. Will Deegan leading the group of chasers here again. Will Deegan there just putting the power down. Wonder whether he'll make it up to Bancross, and the pair of them will make it towards the leading groups. Ben Lowe currently being caught by those two chasers, Oxazoglu and Zemekio. They've both caught up to him. See Will Deegan here being caught with a group that was following him. Marty just about to bridge up to Bancross though. Interesting to see whether these three riders then can work together to reel in the three in front of them. As you see the town of Pienza there up on the hill, that's the wall that we're racing towards. Already we can see that this gap's diminishing. We're going down only 50 metres to Zemecki now. It looks like Ben Lowe and Oxazoglu have broken off the front again. Yeah, they've opened up a gap in there of around about 55 metres from Zemecki. All blowing up on this first race, this first lap of the race. It's a long climb, this Pienza wall climb. Drop back a little bit further and see how the groupings are going together on this. And that group of chasers, Bancross split off from Marty and Deegan again. RF fast forward there, chasing Andy Folkes, well placed from Team Lee Racing in position 8. Jessen back in 9th. Then we're starting with the PRT team here. We've got Guy Hepner. We've got Costa, followed by Leon, David Brookhouse, and Torturuga, Murray, Laser, Bob Marshall, Result, Jay Priest, and Chris Shackleton, Mallory, Ledung. We're back to the group of Raya, Kent, Asensi, Alves. And further back than that. PRT races were really well supported last year. We had upwards of 100 people in the races at times. Just entering into the winter season again now. We're starting to see all the races across the board building up again. 84 riders in this race tonight. Back with a group of Barry Wilson and Kearns there. The Pienza loop is not a tremendously long loop, but it does have a significant amount of climbing in it for the distance. 8.5 kilometers a loop, but a significant amount of climbing on each one of those loops. And if you judge your timing right, you can quite easily open up a gapping on the riders that you're with. I'll go back up to the front of the group. Oh, we see Okazoglu there, just about to take the start-finish line by the Pienza wall. Just pan round and see if we can figure out how far behind he is. He's opened up a 180-meter gap there on Marty. So you can see Okazoglu there. He's pushing out 4.6 watts per kilogram here on the climb. As I say, that you would adjust your weight so that ideally your maximum power is going to be at 3.2 watts per kilogram. There is leeway for this. Obviously, people can put out different amounts of power on different terrain, and it's possible to put out, say, 5 or 6 watts per kilogram for a brief period and then have a respite. Will does look at the overall power outputs of every rider in the race, and they are manually disqualifying from the results if it's judged that they have not adjusted their weight correctly. I'm going to drop back to Marty now. It looks like Okazoglu is well clear on the front there. Not much racing to watch with him. Marty just opened up a gap of 50 meters there. The riders behind him. Kozimeki behind him, and then Bancross and Ben Lowe, who's now in a group that's working together. And Ben's been on fire at the beginning of this race. I've seen him race several times in the past. I know he's got a lot of power in the tank. I don't think he's burnt all his matches yet. I think this could well come down to a race between Bancross and Ben Lowe as time goes on. Will Deegan seems to have missed this split. He's a little bit further back. Just go past the standing avatars on the start-finish line there. We've got the group of Low, Bankras and Demeki closing in on Marty, with Oxizoglu now 680 meters in front. He's pushing out fairly consistently over 4 watts per kilogram Oxizoglu, so I think it's safe to say that he's going to be excluded from the results on this race. Whether he's made a mistake or he's just not realised that he's supposed to adjust his weight, I'm not sure. But it does look like he's going to be over that 3.2, or even the amount of leeway that's allowed in these races. As we back onto the Strada Bianchi and descending, we've got Bankras, Marty, Zemecki as a group there. Ben Low, looks like Ben's had a nightmare there. He's got power outage. Oh no, he's just coasting. He's just coasting out. Must be looking to regroup with these guys as we come up onto this climb here now. I'm sure he'll quickly grab back onto those wheels and get back the drafting advantage that's so important on these races. Just hitting this climb now. We'll see whether Ben Low has judged it right to jump back onto those wheels. It looks like Ben just got caught on the wrong side of a little small split there, and the guys that were working with him are not hanging around there going forward and taking this battle on between themselves. Just have a drop back. Look at that Costa in no man's land. You got 270 meters to clear to get up to Ben Low, but he's 120 meters in front of the group behind, which got RF fast forward and Guy Hepner and Will Deegan there. That's going to be an interesting battle to see how that comes out later on. I can see Will Deegan and Guy Hapner will have a good battle there between themselves. Not seen RF racing frequently before, so it'll be an interesting and unknown to see what the battle turns out between these guys. At the back of the group here, we've got Leon, Jessen, just slightly distancing Tartaruga there. Andy Folks coming into the group there. He's having a great race tonight. Coming up onto Tartaruga's wheel there. And looking like he's going to just fly by and take 12th position there as we go into this climb. Andy's power going deep red there as he goes over his FTP and over the power that he feels comfortable with. Tartaruga, possibly a little bit of a lighter rider there, just coming through, and Andy's grinding to a halt there on this climb, even though he's putting out the power. Tartaruga just having a better power to weight ratio there, coming over the top of him. Just behind them, we've got coming in tightly, we've got Desault, Alves, Chris Shackleton. We've got the group there, Sensi, Kent, and Rob Marshall. A little bit behind them, David Brookhausen, Murray, Ingram. I think that's Raya there, yeah. A little bit down, further down the field, got Ledung, Brazilotti, Laser, Barry, Priest, Ian Hurst, Brina, Orin, Felipe Mora back there, Tom Smith. A group of bots keeping each other company. And not sure if we've got any more. Oh, Robin Druitt back there, just flew past. Conscious that we best get back up to the action. Oxyzoglu now 320 metres clear. Still putting up a significant amount of power, but the chase and the real race is behind him. Marty and Chris Bancroft there. Dropping Zemecki. Ben Lowe further behind them as well. These guys just taking it easy. Only 145 watts here at the moment on the flatter section. Middle of the course. Have to be careful though to watch for someone just making a little bit of a break on you. Chris just measuring it very well there. Making sure that Marty doesn't get away from it. Zemecki is coming back up towards them now. Zemecki had to put an effort in there. I didn't see why he was dropped. I don't know whether he had a power outage or whether they'd made an attack on him as Marty goes and Bancroft responds to it. Zemecki trying to respond to that, but already they've opened up another 20-metre gap on him. I think this is going to be the separation in this group. Marty and Bancroft's going to leave Zemecki behind. I think they have the power to just keep on dropping him and snapping the elastic on him. Once again, they're free of Zemecki and they've eased up slightly now. Beginning to look at each other and question who's going to be putting in the work. Zemecki, once they've eased, comes back up to the group. Goes through and almost immediately Marty puts in another effort again. This time he's not breaking free. We roll back out now, heading towards the tarmac section and back up towards Pienza. Back onto the bottom of this long drawn out climb. We'll just have a brief flip back through the field and come back to these guys. Hopefully they won't have broken the group up too much by the time we get back. We see Ben now in no man's land. I think he's got a comfortable 5th position there. I've got Guy Hepner chasing at 430 metres behind. And Costa working with him. They've managed to distance Will Deegan, which will be important for Guy Hepner because I think Will would have been a challenge for him going towards positions. Further back in the group here, we've got Alves, Leon, RF and Jessen. Result, Alori and Andy Folks there, well positioned in 15th position. Ingram, Marshall and Chris Shackleton with Kent there. And then just next back on the road, we've got Ray Usher, David Brookhausen. And Tartaruga back in 22nd and Ledung in 23rd. I'm going to head back up to the front here. Oxyzoglu out in first, up at 4.8 watts per kilogram. And leading by 215 meters. From the group, Marty, Zemecki and Bancroft. Marty looking strong now, leading this group out. Zemecki slightly distanced as is Bancroft. do believe that Bancroft could quite easily make this up. Just looking at the gap in there, whether he's going to sit on Zemeckis' wheel or whether he's going to bridge forward then to Marty. Marty only put out 212 watts on this point. The ride is eased back ever so slightly. Camera around so we can see the ride is chasing on. See the Bancroft is giving Zemeckis his wheel. Marty is pushing on now. 6% slope. It's not very pleasant at these sort of speeds. Now around 18 kilometers per hour. Just about to start the hill climb segment proper. Just flattening out a little bit here for this section. We go through the Stargate on the segment. You can see that Marty is just maintaining a gap of 50 meters from chasing Bancroft and Zemecki. Looks like Marty may be going for the win here, as I say. Oxazoglu is going to be looked at in the post-race doping tent to check on his results and see whether his correct weighting handicap has been applied. Bancroft's not seemingly able to close that gap now. Marty is just opening up a few more meters of a lead. Bancroft and Zemecki working together here. Third and fourth position. Zemecki sitting into Bancroft's wheel, saving 13 watts. Drop a couple of places back in the race as we're looking now. We've got Ben Lowe here, and just behind him there in the distance coming around that hairpin you can see Guy Hepner, who's looking like he's going to manage to make the bridge back up to Ben Lowe there. Ben had a fantastic start to this race, went off like a rocket, just seemed to have got caught on the wrong side of a split with the guys in front of him there. Bancroft and Zemecki and Marty were working together at the same time, and he just seems to have got distance as the race has gone on. Can't overestimate the effect of the draft in RGT. It does massively make a difference, being able to use that feature and sit into the draft of the wheel. So we're heading forward here with Marty. Marty is clear. Round the last hairpin. Oxazoglu on the front here with 226 meters clear on Marty, who you can just see in the distance there coming through the finish gate of the segment. Oxazoglu pushing out 2.9 watts per kilogram, going back up again over the 3.2 watt. 212 meters clear of the next challenging rider. Zoglu past the walls of Pienza. As he comes up to the start-finish gate, he's slowing down now, 1.2 watts per kilogram, and just crosses the line. He's the first rider across the line, but whether he's the winner or not. See, Marty has been caught by Zemecki with a fantastic run there. Zemecki, Marty, Bancroft all together. This is going to be a tight fight to the finish as we see them using the drafting. Bancroft unleashes his sprint. He's going for it. He's gone into second place. Zemecki, Marty haven't been able to respond. Marty just trying to come over Zemecki there at the last moment, but he didn't make it. Guy Hepner has managed to bridge up to Ben Lowe and is past, and he's opening up, leaving Ben Lowe as Ben is being passed by Alves as well. I have to try and get in contact with Ben after the event, see what happened here. He seems to have lost power in the later part of the race. Guy Hepner opening up his power now as you can see the finish line in sight. Alves trying to respond. I don't think he's got a chance of overhauling Guy at this point in the race. Just trying to keep Ben Lowe from retaking his position. Interesting to see whether Will Deegan's now past Ben as well. Well, Ben had a fantastic first half of the race. It seems to have faded considerably towards the end. Guy Hepner coming into the finish line now. Past these iconic walls of Pienza. Finishing a fantastic time with Alves just behind him there. There we got Will Deegan, Ben Lowe just managing to overhaul him on the line. Ben Lowe, then Will Deegan. There we have RF fast forward, position 9, opening up a sprint now. Opening up a gap on Costa, securing his 9th position. So Costa rolling in 10th. I see Rob Marshall managing to open up a gap. Over Alori. Alori opened up his sprint, trying to hold off Jessen, which he's doing comfortably. Jessen coming in at 13th, and we've got a battle now between Ray Usher, Andy Folkes and D. Ken. I think it's Usher, Folkes, Ken, Chris Shackleton now holding on to 17th position as Ingram's coming up hard on his wheel. Ingram through in 18th position. Result in 19th with Torturuga behind him in 20th. Torturuga is going to make it a last-ditched effort here to overhaul Result. He's opening up his power. Result doesn't seem to be responding. Torturuga might just pick him at the line here. Oh, I think Result just managed to hold on to it at the line there from Torturuga. As Papiago comes over, Mazzalotti back in 23rd position here with Ledung. David Bruckhausen, 24th position. David was a very powerful rider all through the PRT season last year. See Barry Wilson just overhauling Hurst there, bringing 25th, Hurst in 26th. Kearns, 27th position. Senzi putting in every last bit of power he can to reel in Kearns here. Fight for that 27th position. Kearns sees him at the last moment, unleashes his sprint. Kearns holding on to that position from Senzi there after a dedicated attack. Greener, 29th position. Murray in 30th. Murray rolling in the black and yellow of the PRT team there. Angry Wasps. We get Darren Ray in the Team Blue Racing kit. We're in the 31st position. Corin back in 32nd. Priest of DHC Racing. Fighting out with Felipe Mora. 33rd position. I can only imagine what it's like in the real life race to finish in front of such iconic scenery. Fantastic buildings and these old walls. So Tom Smith coming through in 35th. Sorry, Felipe Mora in 34th there, and give him a mention. So a group of bots now. And back now. See Robin Druitt here. I don't think he'll mind me saying he's one of the older riders in the race. I can't remember what age category I is. Robin Druitt frequently races in these races. There are generally a few older racers that partake. Bev Usher unfortunately not able to be with us tonight. For those that are thinking about taking part in the races, there is obviously the racing that goes on, but it's there are bots that are run throughout the whole of the race, so everyone can find a wheel and race with a bot. If you're not going to be contending for the first, second and third places, there's always a race to be had. Quite often groups form and there are a bunch of races to be taken all the way to the line. So Robin Druitt coming over there in 43rd position. That's fantastic to see. Effort going in from everyone to complete the race. I'm going to leave the live coverage there. I'm hoping you enjoyed the live coverage, and hoping that you can catch it with us next time around. The race is run every Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Will Usher, he puts on fantastic routes from around the world. Most of them are from his own local backyard, and the routes do tend to be a little bit hilly because that's the way that the factoring with the weight works best. If it's a flat course, your weight doesn't really have much of an effect on the balancing of the 3.2. So, you know, it really does need to be a bit of a hilly course for these weight handicaps to have any effect. But we hope you can catch us next week, 7 o'clock, Thursday night on the RGT platform. If you enjoyed the stream, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.